Good evening. My name is Michael Searing. This is my last speech, and I'll be talking about college. Now, what if I were to tell you that the average bachelor degree today costs between $30,000 and $100,000? That's a lot for a 17-year-old who's looking at colleges to fathom. But what if I also told you that college degree has no guarantee to get you a better job or simply drop you in another minimum wage job? I am a second-year college student. I currently attend Colorado Community College of Aurora. I was fortunate enough to receive a GI Bill for the Marine Corps. But if I were told that I needed to accrue 6 figures of debt in order to get a degree that has no guarantee of getting me a better job, I probably wouldn't be here. But that's the hard truth for most graduates today. Now, the Census Bureau has put out this chart that shows that between 1950 and 1960, about 10% of the population had a bachelor's degree or higher, and were 25 years of age or older. Now, we've managed to get that percentage up to about 30% of the population in 2009, which is better. It's good. But the 50s seem kind of small. Well, that's because the 50s were a very different time. College was only for the richest. It was only for kids that didn't need to worry about money and had their parents pay for it all. Most middle-class families would live off of minimum wage. Now you'll see, in the 1950s up into about the early 1970s, the minimum wage was about $1.50 or less. But keep in mind of this red line that shows the actual value of $1, which means that that dollar that they were earning was roughly worth about 8 times what it is today. Now, we have managed to make some increases, but by no means have we made any strides. But it does seem to indicate that we need more special skills and more higher education in order to be competitive in this economy. But there is a problem. According to the Huffington Post, college tuition costs have gone up 1,120%. And it gets better. 53% of recent college graduates, according to The Atlantic, are unemployed or underemployed. That's worse than the demographic of 25 years or younger without a bachelor's degree. This system is broken. We can no longer afford to look at a higher education as a luxury anymore. Most of all, we should not be afraid to go looking for a higher education simply because of our own monetary constraints. I have come up with a couple of solutions for this. A federal tuition cap. This would limit the amount of money a university or an institute would be able to charge you to attend their school. Now, this could be based on, say, attrition rates, graduation rates, student population, or even teacher effectiveness. Good incentives for crucial fields. This has been implemented before for teachers and medical personnel alike, but by no means is it effective enough. We need to give people stipends and grants in order to get into engineering, science, any field that we feel would be crucial to our country's growth. Most of all, we need a direction. We need a way to tell ourselves a projection to see where our country will be in the future and what will be our strongest attribute in that economy. There's a historical precedent for this. Russia, post-World War II. Their economy was almost on the brink of collapse. And they decided they needed to come together and concentrate on what they thought would bring this country out of a slump and become strong again in the future. What they managed to do was take concentrations in their primary and their higher education, and they focused it on engineering, science, and math. And they ended up today becoming one of the economic powerhouses in the world. Now, there are concerned citizens that have shown demonstrations in America, such as the Occupy Wall Street movement, which is a good start, but is by no means the end of the war. Though it does show college-age Americans concerned for a crumbling economy. Government and people need to come together and research where these people are needed, what they should be concentrating their higher education on. We need to find the disconnect between Americans and work. The gap between the rich, the middle class, and the 46.5 million people below the poverty line, according to the Census Bureau, will only keep